New Zealand, the youngest country on Earth and recognised around the globe for its green and pristine environment. It's an environment that is central to New Zealand and the Kiwi way of life. New Zealand is also a country that prides itself on its 100% pure image. Therefore, it seems appropriate this year New Zealand plays host to World Environment Day.
I'm really proud that we're hosting World Environment Day for the whole world on behalf of the UN Environment Programme this year. And I think it's happened because we are getting recognition for this very broad, comprehensive program we've got on climate change mitigation and sustainability. And this day, when the world spotlight is on us in New Zealand, we can showcase the really exciting things we're doing on sustainability.
In 2007, the New Zealand government made the bold pledge to become the world's first carbon-neutral, truly sustainable nation. It was an undertaking the entire country embraced, especially the tourism industry. New Zealand relies heavily on the tourism dollar. It is New Zealand's single largest foreign earner, accounting for 9% of the total gross domestic product. The main reason visitors come to New Zealand is for our environment, so looking after it is not only vital for tourism, but also the country's economy.
The green image is so important for New Zealand because we've been using it now for 100 years. It's been part of our marketing from the very start and is still core to everything we do in the international marketplace. One of the key platforms of the new tourism strategy is environmental protection and sustainability. In addition to that, we're incorporating sustainability as one of the key assessment measures in our Tourism Qualification Authority, which is QualMark, which assesses tourism businesses' quality and their performance.
One of New Zealand's largest tourism operators is Real Journeys. The company hosts more than 700,000 tourists a year in and around the Fiordland region, one of the most environmentally sensitive areas of New Zealand. The possible environmental effect that volume of people could have is daunting, but the company is well aware of its responsibilities.
We achieve being environmentally responsible in a number of ways. We support conservation causes, we invest in technology, we reinvest in our plant and equipment to ensure that we're operating modern, low-emission type equipment. We get into recycling. We do whatever we can to ensure that we operate in the most environmentally sustainable manner. We also support a number of organisations that are working hard on, for example, removing pests from the areas in which we operate. Our own staff and some of our visitors indeed also get involved in pest eradication, setting trap lines, raising funds to try and return New Zealand to what it once was.
Real Journeys, like many other operators, works closely with the Department of Conservation. DOC's job is to protect and preserve our natural resources, and with 30% of New Zealand set aside in reserves, it's a big job. With many businesses operating within our national parks, the relationship between conservation and tourism needs to be symbiotic.
When we started out, there was tension, and we've learnt to live together. And the reason that we've learnt to live together is that we've got a common objective. DOC is essentially focused on making sure that our natural places are healthy and they're there for people to enjoy. What people in New Zealand want when they go on holiday, and what overseas visitors want and expect, is to see those places and to have the experiences that we tell them. I think the tourism operators are demonstrably doing a good job in terms of adding to New Zealand's economy and giving, as I say, rural and local economies a reason for being when the mainstays of the economies were drifting off into other directions.
A good example of using natural resources to re-energise a failing economy is Whale Watch Kaikoura. Green Globe certified and world-renowned, Whale Watch started out more than 20 years ago.
The primary aim was to try and create employment. We're looking at a depressed community back in 1987. Unemployment was really, really high, especially among Māori, and we needed to find a way to create a future here for our people. We didn't have the option to move to another part of the country. This is where we had our roots. It was a matter of looking back at those relationships that we have with our culture. The concept of manaakitanga and kaitiakitanga are concepts which we have as a people, looking after your visitors, sharing with your visitors the natural resources that you have here, but in doing it in such a way that it will be there for tomorrow. I believe in the idea of conservation, but I believe wholeheartedly in the idea or the concept of restoration, going beyond just preserving and looking at the idea of restoring the natural resources that we used to have 50 years, 100 years back, and bringing this place to a level of pristineship which is rivaled by nowhere else on the world.
Another marine enterprise working hard to deliver a quality and sustainable tourism experience is Dive Tutukaka. Located just off the northeast coast of New Zealand, the company operates in the Poor Knights Islands, an area described as one of the 10 top diving spots in the world.
Poor Knights Island is a fantastic environment. Subtropical waters, lots of fish life, tunnels, archways, the largest sea cave in the world, beautiful bird life on the top. It's the combination and the spirituality of the place, the Maori history. It is just a fantastic little sort of, you could call it the Middle Earth in the middle of the ocean. Education is actually one of the biggest returns we give to our customers. Besides having a good time and really enjoying the marine environment, they come back with a lot of knowledge about the marine environment here in New Zealand, and they are raving, and they start to see the benefits of marine reserves and the practice of using marine reserves in a sustainable manner.
Around 2.5 million visitors come to New Zealand every year. Managing those numbers is key to the survival of the country and the tourism industry. While Tourism New Zealand's strategy is to promote travel off-peak, it also encourages visitors to travel to more of the country's regions. With transport one of the biggest contributors to carbon emissions, New Zealand's largest transport network, Intercity, recognises its obligations to the environment.
Our goal is to get to a point where we operate a carbon neutral transport network in New Zealand. The Carbon Zero program allows us to do that at the moment through offsetting the carbon emissions that do arise from our activities. Our goal is to use technology ultimately to get to a point where we actually have zero emissions coming out of our vessels and out of our vehicles around New Zealand.
New Zealand's geographic isolation and long period without human habitation has resulted in a unique natural environment. One of the best examples of this is Ulva Island, a bird sanctuary brimming with rare and endangered flora and fauna, and located just off New Zealand's southernmost Stewart Island.
It's the most important reason why tourists come to New Zealand, because of the image that we portray, and having an environment like this here on Stewart Island and on Ulva Island, this is exactly what they're looking for. This is the way that it used to be. This is how it can be if everyone does their little bit in trying to bring back New Zealand the way that it was probably only about 200 years ago. It's not that long.
New Zealand is a unique and extraordinary place. It may be a small country, but it's big on the environmental pledge. Its people have accepted and acknowledged the challenges that lie ahead. They've embraced the Maori concept of kaitiakitanga, which means to preserve and protect Aotearoa New Zealand for generations to come.
I'm proud that we are out there with world-leading strategies on cap and trade schemes on emissions, and that we have these big plans which are realisable across afforestation and reforestation and renewable energy and public transport and waste strategies. I think we can show how a small country that cares can get it right.
My perfect vision for the New Zealand tourism industry is that we touch visitors in a certain way when they come here, so that they go away feeling enriched and with a different attitude to the world. And I'd sum that up by saying that we perhaps could change the world one visitor at a time.